Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Sarah Labrat and today's video is going to be another writing experiment / writing vlog where I tried writing using only longer writing sprints. Recently, I made a video similar to this where I only used short writing sprints, and by short, I mean 15 minutes every hour. So like the first 15 minutes of every hour, I would devote to a 15-minute writing sprint. I got a lot of comments on that video saying that most people that watch my videos typically only write in longer sprints, and that's a huge part of why I chose to make this video today, was to try using only longer sprints because I tend to use a combination of the two. So if you enjoyed today's writing experiment of only using above 30-minute writing sprints for my entire day of writing, make sure you give the video a big thumbs up because it really supports my channel. And without further ado, let's get into it. So I was exhausted, so I slept in. So now it's 12:12 and I'm going to start my first 30-minute writing sprint at 12:15 today. I'm going to try and do at least 4 30-minute writing sprints, if not more than that. Ideally like 6 or even maybe 7, because I'm trying to make so much progress in this project right now. But I'm about to start sprint number 1 of using longer writing sprints. The first long sprint of the day is done. I ended up not stopping myself. I ended up going for 35. I think I'm not gonna stop myself if things are going really, really well, because the point of this is to kind of get deeper into the story. Whereas in like my 15-minute writing experiment, it was very like surface level and I did cut it off at 15 minutes. But in this first sprint, I did end up rewriting, or actually writing for the first time, because I was adding in a scene that was not previously there, which is great because it's something that needed to be added because it was way too short otherwise. But I ended up adding 662 words. So a solid start to the day. Like in my 15-minute writing experiment, I am going to make a chart because that was so much fun to like fill out every hour. So I'm going to make one of those now, eat breakfast, and then I'll do another writing sprint. This is how I formatted my grid for the day, only long, aka 30-minute writing sprints. There might be a point in the future where I try even longer than 30, but I think 30 is what I'm going to consider long for today, so that's why I'm calling it that. My time started for the sprint, my sprint time, my word count, my total word count, and whether or not it was timed. So for my first writing sprint of the day, I started at 12:20, I went for 35 minutes, I got 662 words, bringing me up to a total of 662 words for the day, and I did not time it. It's now 1:10, and I just made my smoothie for breakfast, and I remembered that I'm not going to be able to write between 2 and 3, and so I'm going to sit down and start another writing sprint right now and just see what happens. My second writing sprint for the day, which started just under an hour after my first one, went for 35 minutes as well. I ended up writing 884 words, which brings me up to 1,546 for the day, and I did not time the sprint. So I had some things to do between 2 o'clock and now, which is now almost 3:50, which is when I'm going to start my third sprint of the day. I have already written 1,546 words, which is wild considering I've only done 2 sprints. I know that I am sitting at an hour and 10 minutes total for the day so far, but we're just going to keep leaning into these longer sprints and see what happens. That third sprint ended up also being 35 minutes. I feel like I check the clock a lot around like 7 or 10 minutes, and then I kind of keep going, and then I realize that 30 minutes has passed, but I'm not ready to exactly stop. So I feel like I go until 35 kind of because I'm like, oh, I've already hit 30, but I want to like get to a good stopping point. So that's been an interesting observation so far in the 3 writing sprints that I've done today. It is now 4:30, and in that third 35-minute writing sprint, I ended up rewriting 988 words. That's insane. I do have to keep reminding myself that I'm not drafting. These are rewriting words, which seem to come a lot faster because most of the words are already on the page. In my first writing sprint of the day, when I wrote 662 words, I was adding part of a scene that hadn't been there before, and so those words came a little bit slower, or maybe I was just getting warmed up. I'm not entirely sure, but now I have to add up what that puts me at so far for the day. Okay, wow, that brings me up to 2,534 words so far for the day. And no, I did not time that sprint. Okay, this is so aesthetically pleasing how there's 2 6s in this one, 2 8s in this one, and 2 8s in this one. I don't know why that is, but that's so aesthetically pleasing. Like, they're such pretty numbers. That also now puts me at 1 hour and 45 minutes for the day. I'm still feeling very good. It's currently 4:30, even though I've done 3 writing sprints totaling 1 hour and 45 minutes so far. I'm feeling good. I am going to take a break to probably eat something, watch a couple of YouTube videos or something, and then I will get started on my 4th writing sprint of the day. I have now moved to my writing room. It is 5:15 and I'm going to start doing some sprints with some of my friends, and so it's time for sprint number 4 of my longer-ish sprints, being like 30 minutes or more. So because I was doing that sprint with other people, I didn't want to do an untimed sprint just because that felt unfair. But what I did do is exactly 30 minutes, and yes, I timed it, and I ended up rewriting 837 words. Which brings me up to a total of 3,371 words for the day. That was also my first sprint with not having double numbers, which is kind of unfortunate, but the fact that I got 3 of them in a row was crazy anyways. I changed because I'm about to go watch the new episode of WandaVision, but when I get back, I'm going to attempt to do at least 2 more writing sprints. I'm currently sitting at 2 hours and 15 minutes, I believe, and feeling like a little bit mentally tired, but I'm gonna try and do maybe 2 more, 1 more for sure. Hopefully 2 if things are going incredibly, 3 more. So it's now later, as in it is currently 10 p.m. I ended up watching the new episode of WandaVision and watching Iron Man 2, which, can we just talk about the fact that I did not know that Elon Musk had a cameo in Iron Man 2? He had like a full speaking role. He talked to Iron Man, and I'm kind of still freaking out about it. Anyways, now that that is done, I am making dinner. I kind of had a snack at 4 o'clock and just haven't been hungry since then, but I need to eat, so I'm making dinner. So my goal is to start my next writing sprint around 10:15 or so, and then hopefully do 2 more tonight before going to bed. So hopefully within the next 2 hours I'll get 2 more writing sprints done. I would really like to break 5,000 words today if possible, so that's kind of what I'm going for, but that should theoretically be feasible with 2 more sprints. I literally just lost 800 words. I wanted a stupid B-roll shot, so I went back, copied and then deleted 800 words so that I could film something for my big vlog that I'm doing that's finishing the rewrite, and I literally saved it and then closed the document just now because I didn't know where those words went when I had forgotten to freaking paste them back to where they were. It's a solid 1.5 pages. It's incredibly frustrating knowing that I did it to myself. I've had computers delete a freaking huge amount of words before. I lost 20,000 words one time because my computer malfunctioned, and yet this is completely my doing. I am a full 1,000 words less than where I was when I closed this document. Oh my gosh, and it was a new chapter too. Oh man. I remember the gist, but that took me oh man. I know it's not a huge deal. This is something that I can reclaim. I totally had the thought that I should back it up, and then I didn't. Oh gosh. This is your friendly reminder to save, double save, back up your work, email it to somebody you trust or yourself, at least every day, if not more than that. Because oh my goodness, this sucks. I also know that it's only 1,000 words. So at least it's not the end of the world, but it sure feels pretty freaking big right now. It's now a few minutes later. I have kind of recovered from being really frustrated about that. However, I'm still frustrated about it, but I'm also trying to remind myself that it's only 1,000 words. I did a lot more than 1,000 words today, so it's not a huge deal. I also wrote it today, so hopefully it's not going to be that hard to rewrite. With this deadline that I gave myself, I'm not pleased about losing 1,000 words. words, and I don't think I would be pleased anyways about losing 1,000 words. So realistically, if I put my head down for the next 45 minutes or an hour, I should be able to make up that amount of words just fine. It's just really not ideal. So I actually ended up not filming the majority of that sprint because my phone was about to die, and I was very frustrated, and I didn't want to film myself rewriting the same scene pretty much. Although partway through what I'm gonna call a sprint but was not really a sprint, I ended up rewriting the basic gist of what I remember writing earlier today for the portion that I deleted, but then I highlighted my bullet points in green just because I don't want to rewrite it right now because I really liked what I wrote earlier. And so even though I tried to start rewriting that scene again, it just like wasn't working in the way that I wanted it to be working. Like it just didn't feel the same. It didn't feel as good. So I just like highlighted it in green and then moved on to where I had stopped earlier and just kept going and working on that. And so I will need to return to that probably tomorrow or something. I just don't want to deal with it tonight. However, that sprint, if you can call it a sprint, because I was frustrated and I was just needing to like work on this without any interruptions, I ended up going for an hour and 10 minutes, and I did write over 1,000 words. It was mostly new words. There were some that were the same or reminiscent of that scene that I had accidentally on purpose deleted. So again, this is just a not so gentle reminder to back up your work because losing stuff sucks. So during that sprint, I ended up rewriting 1,211 words. That brings me up to a total of 4,582 words written today, even though my document now only reflects about 3,500 because of what was deleted. Which is just like really unfortunate because if I'm going to actually end up writing 5,000 words today, I don't want my word count spreadsheet to only account for 4,000 words because 4,000 is what the document number actually went up by. Because I'm rewriting the way that I'm counting my words in my spreadsheet, not on this thing, but on my actual spreadsheet, I keep track by subtracting the word count that I end up with from the word count that I started with, and that's the number that I put on my spreadsheet is that difference. And so the fact that there's going to be a 1,000 word discrepancy is kind of unfortunate just because this is a lot of words, and so to not get credit on my spreadsheet for all those words is kind of disappointing. I'm completely aware that this is my system and I'm doing this to myself. However, I'm also trying to meet a deadline right now, which is why it's so disappointing, or why it's like extra disappointing, and that's why I'm going to try and push for like another 1,000 words because another 1,000 words will put me at what I want to be at for the day, even if that's not completely logistically making sense. I'm happy that I ended up going for as long as I did with that last sprint. I was getting very discouraged because I accidentally deleted words, but I think that most of it is going well. I could tell that my frustration might have been actually taken out on some of my characters because they got into a fight that was not in draft 2. Like I added a scene, a fight scene, like a verbal fight scene between two characters, and I'm wondering if that was because I was frustrated. So, sorry guys. It is now past midnight, but I want to keep writing a little bit more. I think I'm just going to stay up late tonight. I'm going to move to my couch and watch a YouTube video or something, try to finish calming down because I can tell that there's still like stress in my body from that experience. And then hopefully I'll do another writing sprint. So in sprint number 6 tonight, I started at 12:30 in the morning, finished at 1:05 in the morning, meaning that it was 35 minutes long, but I ended up rewriting 1,609 words, mostly because what I was rewriting was being copy and pasted over with only like very minor changes, which brings me up to 6,191 words today. That's crazy. So last month in January, on January 28th, I ended up rewriting 6,178 words, also in draft 3, so I was rewriting, and I beat that tonight by like less than 20 words. What is that, like 13 words? That's crazy. That feels really good. So today I ended up rewriting those 6,191 words in 4 hours worth of writing sprints. That's way longer than I thought this was gonna turn out to be, by like a lot. I am happy that I did improve the word count by about 5,000 words, taking into consideration the 1,000 that I accidentally on purpose deleted, but then never pasted again. Whatever. I'm just happy that I'll get to put over 5,000 words in my word count spreadsheet for the day. But the fact that I rewrote 6,000 words in 4 hours is insane. I definitely thought that I was going to be able to do fewer of these long writing sprints than I was the 15-minute writing sprints from my recent writing experiment video. But like, just because I couldn't structure in 30-minute writing sprints throughout my day as easily because it takes up half of an hour, obviously. So it's not like 15 minutes where like the first 15 minutes of every hour I can devote to writing. This was very nice in that I could really get into a writing sprint and I could just go with it. But it was also interesting because they were kind of more spread out. Like I started sprints at 12:20, 1:15, 3:50, 5:20, and then 5 hours later at 10:45 and then 12:30. So over the span of like 13 hours, I was able to do 6 long writing sprints that totaled up to be about 4 hours, which is crazy awesome. I am absolutely amazed that this writing experiment went so well. Also so poorly because of the whole like word mishap, but overall, now that I've taken a couple days since my experiment and am now filming this outro, I feel very proud of what I was able to accomplish using these longer writing sprints, and the fact that I was able to write for 4 total hours like baffles me. I tend to only be able to get somewhere between 2 and 3 hours a day of creative work without burning myself out, but I was able to write for the next couple of days after this experiment, which was crazy. I definitely thought that 4 hours would burn me out, but it appears that it didn't. And in those 4 hours, I ended up rewriting/writing 6,191 words. So I would call that a huge freaking win. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up because it really supports my channel by telling the YouTube algorithm that you liked my video and that someone else might too. If you enjoyed this writing experiment and want to see more of them from me, I have a playlist right here. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos from me and are not already subscribed, make sure you scroll down below, hit that big red subscribe button and that little notification bell next to it so you don't miss another upload. But alright, I think that's gonna be it for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sarah Labrad, and I'll see you guys very soon with another video. Bye!